Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here doing a very awesome, well I don't know if the video will be awesome, but I'm excited, I feel awesome. And I'm doing a reaction and review for the Resident Evil 7 Not a Hero DLC footage that's been released from the Tokyo Game Show. It came out last night. It came out at around like 11 p.m. or something. Like I saw like two videos that uploaded, and the second one that I saw was like, I'd seen it like 44 minutes. So it came, of course, obviously it's the Tokyo Game Show, the time zones are different. So it came out, like 3 or 4 p.m. over there. It was like it was like 10 or 11 here. So unfortunately, I didn't get to do the video then because I was babysitting all day today, and it was super late, and I was at a different house, so I wasn't able to like sit down and be by myself and actually film. And I didn't want to talk about this without doing a reaction. I don't know if I'll actually end up doing a separate video where it's just me talking about everything, after I watch it a couple more times, but I was like, I have to just do a straight up reaction and review just on, it's 3 solid minutes, which is great, and it's just straight gameplay. So I'm very curious what we're going to get out of it, but we're just going to get straight into it and then talk about everything that's shown and not so shown after these 3 minutes. We're not this, just under 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 53 seconds. I cannot wait for this. Okay.
All right, I'm in the mine.
Signal strong. You're coming through loud and clear, Chris.
Okay, so
We didn't get much from the first unit before we lost contact.
How many men did we lose?
3 of our best. Their last transmission was near a lab that should be just ahead.
I don't know why that makes me laugh.
Check it out.
Yeah.
But all right, so clearly we have like an actual HUD, which I think is interesting.
That's huge.
Obviously back in the mines.
The mine has been abandoned for some time.
You got the air clear thing. I think that should be pretty cool. I think that would be a cool concept to add to I was about to say to the show, to the game. Okay, so we switch weapons here. That has a silencer on it. It actually looks just like the It almost looks just like the SOCOM
Okay, you there?
from Metal Gear.
Great shield. Don't worry. I'm gonna find a key to this thing and get you out of there.
I bet everybody's like, that's totally Hunk. Like every time there's a dude in a mask, everyone's like, it's gotta be Hunk. Okay, so we got our normal monsters back. Okay. Got grenades. Oh, he's punching. How about that? I do like the look of the weapons. That's interesting. And it's like they brought back. Maybe there's stuff that's missing here, which is a normal thing for like trailers and early gameplay footage. But maybe they're bringing back officially, the finisher moves, because he stumped one on the ground. We've seen the punch a couple times. That looked like he just did a counter attack. So maybe it's not showing up here because they don't want to officially show that off. But that looks like exactly what it's going to be. They're bringing back those counters and stuff like that, which is a really cool idea, and it makes sense. It still fits, even though it wasn't in the main game. It fits to have that. It fits to have that in this version because it's Chris who's familiar and has that combat training. It's like, oh, it would be cool to have had that in 7, the base game, but it also makes a lot of sense that it wouldn't be because it's just a random dude. So I like that idea. Dang, that did not feel like 2 minutes at all. I thought we still had some time. That's insane. Officially coming out in December 12th, 2017. So that is awesome. Xbox, whatever. No, I'm kidding. I don't care about Xbox. But that was awesome. I love seeing that. I am really looking forward to getting another official trailer. Trying to a little too far. But that was good. I like that. There wasn't too much for us to really see, which makes sense. It was the same as a trailer. And typically, and I figured this, when it's actual gameplay, you actually get even less content because a trailer will be like, this is what's happening in like these 8 different moments of the trailer. And this was just like, he's walking and he's talking and then he walks through a different part with a different weapon. So it's like, I knew we'd get even less from this than we would if we just got like, here's the Not a Hero DLC official trailer. But I still loved it. Like, just seeing this was great. Official release date is absolutely amazing because the whole thing about it is that we were supposed to have this like 3 months ago or something like that because it was supposed to come out during the summer. So, it's been quite a drastic change from when it was supposed to happen. It was going to be like, here's the main game. A couple months later, here's the DLC. And then a couple months later, we would of course have the End of Zoe DLC as the final piece of content. And I can't remember the date for that. I guess all of it's coming together with the Gold Edition, so I guess they technically released at the same time. But this is supposed to already have been out, and then the End of Zoe DLC was going to be like our final piece of content. So now we get them both together, which is still really great. Like, just playing them in general is going to be awesome. But this is cool. So I'm looking at it again. Of course, we're going through the minds. I think everyone kind of had some of the same theories. Like, we're going to be dealing with Lucas. He's like, he's the one who's uninfected the whole time. We find out. Spoilers, I guess. I mean, if you're watching this, then admittedly, that's your own fault. You should know that. But, Lucas at the end of the game, and then, of course, we have the Zoe DLC, which is going to explain her stuff. So I don't think she'll show up here because this was being made before they even knew what they were going to do. Well, they probably already knew, but we didn't know what they were going to do. It was just like, yeah, there's another story DLC coming out. At some point, there was like no hints or anything. So I feel like this was already set in motion, like the story for this. They may have changed it up. Maybe that's a part of why it was held back for so long, because they're like, let's find a way to tie this into the End of Zoe DLC in some regard. Maybe she'll show up here. Maybe we'll get some clues as to what happened to her in this DLC, and then you go to the End of Zoe DLC, considering the fact that this, of course, was supposed to come out months ago, long before her DLC was, ever even announced. So maybe that's a part of why it took a minute for it to come back. But I like this idea. It'll be interesting to see exactly how far it goes. Like, it's free DLC, and it's always been that way. So, like, even if you don't have the season pass and stuff like I do, I bought the season pass as soon as I got the game because it's Resident Evil, so I just wanted everything. And it was like, well, this is free DLC no matter what. So it does make me wonder how extensive they decided to go with this, considering this was the completely unpaid portion of the extra content that they were going to be adding to the game. But clearly, they're putting a lot into it. They're putting a lot of love and care into it, because even with it being the free extra content for the game, they still decided, we don't want to put it out because we don't think it's good enough. We don't think it's up to our standards. So that makes me happy. Like, it's the free DLC, and they still decided, no, we need to make it better. So that means a lot to me. But I like this idea. We do get to see Chris in the very beginning, so I don't know if that's going to be like, it'll be interesting to see exactly how long this is, because none of the DLC is really story-based, except for this, and then the End of Zoe thing. You have, like, the prequel story, I guess, which is, story-based, but that's also very short. And that doesn't have, like, combat and stuff, and I'm curious to see what they'll be doing with the End of Zoe DLC, if they'll add combat to her stuff, because when you play as her in the sort of prequel DLC, you just walk around, and that's really all there is to it. So I am very curious, because all the DLC is either little short stuff, or it's just mini games. So it would be like, the little puzzle DLC, or it's the blackjack DLC. Everything's like either in this one little space, or if it's you moving around like the Jack Must Die mode, it's like, this is what this is. It's just a little thing, and you just go through. It's not really story based. The new, obviously it's not Mercenaries mode. I forgot what it was actually called now, but the new Mercenaries mode, I'm just going to call it that. Same thing. They're just modes. They're awesome to play. The Feed Jack games, they're all really fun, but none of them are really story based outside of the prequel DLC, and even that isn't expanding. Excuse me. It's not expanding the future of the story. It's just like, hey, here's what happened the day that things went crazy for the Baker family. So definitely cool, but this is going to expand on the story. Like I said, my theory is just like everybody else's. Odds are Lucas is going to be like the main enemy focus of this, which would be interesting. So I'm just so curious how far they're going to go with the story. And maybe they just didn't have it done in time, so they were like, hey, this is why this is going to be free. We always wanted to put it with the game, but we couldn't. And unlike pretty much everyone else on the planet, they did something super awesome, and they were like, this was meant to be a part of the game, so we're not going to make you pay for it. It'll just be a part of the game once we're done. So maybe that's what they decided to do, and it still will be a decent amount of time. Because that's like the main thing that I have to wonder. Everything's like mini games, so they can go on for as long or as little as you want them to. And this is like a definitive story. There seems to be like some very minute puzzle elements. Like the very end of this where he's cranking it, and it's like a box of mannequins coming down, and that's when the boss shows up. But I'm excited for this. It definitely looks cool. I like the idea of the HUD. And it's just so weird because, all of 7 was just, it was just clear. It was just, clean cut. Outside of, seeing your little bit of ammo, but this is what your health looks like. Like I mentioned, the air clear thing, I think that should be very interesting. Utilize that with visually. There's like some random fog in the air, but it's also poisonous fog, something like that. So you're visually impaired, and you know that if you take too much damage, maybe they'll do that with like the mask cracking or things like that. So there's a lot to look forward to with this. We do get to see, like I said, the possibility, and it's not really a possibility, it was happening throughout the entire trailer. The counter moves are back. I love that idea. Like I said, I think that fits into lore perfectly, where it's like, oh, that's something that would have been cool in the main game, but it's one of those moments where it's like, I can understand why that wouldn't be, because this is, in the main game, you're just playing this random guy, and then in this, we're playing Chris, who's been through 1.5 million different, crazy things. So I'm really looking forward to it. We have the portion here that I'm looking at where he runs into one of his old comrades who he doesn't even remotely try to save, so maybe that's a part of the story where he has to find the key to help him out and stuff later. But you run into other people. Actually, I think that's what the thing is here. It was key. It says keys on the back, and that's what the little mannequin piece was for. So there's that. We get to see 2 of the weapons. Like I said, we have the silencer, so I don't know how big of a deal stealth is going to be, but that says a lot, the fact that there is even a silencer, so that means something for sure. So I'm looking forward to that. The finisher moves are back, the counter moves are there, and I'm excited for that. I think that's really cool. I'm assuming it's going to stay 100% first person, just like the base game. It would be cool if you could go back and forth. That would be really interesting. I doubt they would do that, but it would be cool, mostly because it's Chris, and so it's like we know what he looks like, and it would be just cool to see him. And that's why I'm wondering if this is going to be split up. That's what makes me mostly think about the length, where it's like, maybe that was just for this video. They did it that way, where it's like, oh, here's Chris putting on the helmet and stuff. But that could also be the start of every chapter, or, if there's like 2 or maybe 3 chapters out of this chunk of DLC, maybe at the beginning and end of every little chapter in here, he'll put the mask on at the beginning and then he'll take it off at the end, like, oh, I need a breather or whatever. So we do get to see his face, because it's like, hey, it's Chris Redfield. Show him off. Why not? Because it's Chris. He's, one of the first 2 playable characters from the entire franchise. So I'm curious how that's going to play out, or if that was just something they kind of threw in. Maybe that's only at the very beginning. But either way, I'm really, really looking forward to this. I cannot wait to get this DLC. It's crazy that, this game came out, the base game came out in, I think, was it the first week of February? It was either the first week of February or the last weekend of January. I really can't even remember at this point, but beginning of the year, now we're hitting the end of the year, we're getting our final 2 pieces of DLC. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. Of course, would love to know what you guys think about 3 minutes that we've gotten, your new theories that may or may not be added, what you guys think of the content we saw as far as the new HUD display, kind of going a little bit back to the 5 and 6 element, because of course it's Chris and the army style and everything. What we'll get for the story in general, because of course we still have the umbrella question kind of just thrown up in the air, like, is this umbrella and it's been changed now? Is this like a second umbrella company and they made it blue instead of the white and red because it's like blue versus red? I don't know. So still a lot of questions there, but I would love to know your theories on it, and just what you guys are looking forward to based off of the extra little bit of information that we've been given from this weird shield generator thing that seems like that'll play a fairly decent part. That seems right in Lucas's alley as far as technology and weird stuff like that. So definitely looking forward to this. Of course, like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about it. If you're interested, I did do a full Let's Play of Resident Evil 7, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll have that as an in-screen annotation. Like right at the end of this video. It's probably popping up right now because I'm about to end it, but would love to know what you guys thought about this DLC gameplay. I guess I can't really call it a trailer, but these 3 minutes of gameplay that we got, what you guys want to see from the next official trailer, if we do end up getting one, which I think we will. I feel like we don't need it, but I would love an official trailer just to be like, hey, here is exactly the gist. Lucas really is going to be in here. This is what they're doing. This is what happened. Maybe this is before even the end of the game. Maybe they find Lucas and we just don't hear about that because it's the end of the game. But I don't know. We'll definitely have to wait until December to find out, but we'd love to know what you guys think about it. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.